Now, what happens in the Genesis account? Right? Genesis is packed with theology. But it's not a theological tract. It's not a doctrinal tract. And yet, it's full of theology. In other words, Genesis is a story that's full of philosophy. What happens in the first chapters of Genesis? What's that? Creation, right? What's the very first thing that happens? God created the heavens and the earth. What was before that? The universe was without form and was void. Okay? And then what else does he create? Life, including humans like Adam and Eve. And where are they? In the Garden of Eden. And what's it like there? Paradise. Okay? And so they have plenty of food, and they don't have to work for it. They don't seem to suffer, and they don't wear clothes. And then what happens? Okay, there's an apple. Okay, is there an apple? There's a fruit, right? And see, instantly, whether you were religious or not, whether you went to Sunday school every day of your life, whether you were Jewish your whole life or not, right? Images, centuries of mythologizing around this start to instantly enter your head. You can't get them out. Okay, so there's fruit, and Eve does what? What does she do? She eats it. Okay. Why does she eat the fruit? Because it looked desirable. The serpent. Okay. So the serpent encouraged her, led her on, but she ate the fruit anyway. What's the serpent? Satan. Okay, does it say that in Genesis? No. Okay. Think about Genesis. There's simply a garden. For some reason, there's a serpent in the garden. Why did God make a serpent? To tempt Eve. Okay. Why is there a serpent there? You've all heard this story at least, or read it? Just never wondered why the serpent's there? Or you don't know? You don't know, or you never wondered? There were lots of animals. Why wouldn't there be a serpent? So why is there a mean serpent, I should ask? Right? Couldn't the serpent have been nice and said, don't eat this fruit? Sorry. Why did you call the serpent Satan?
Because we've mythologized him to be Satan.
Because we've mythologized?
Well, and past generations have.
Who's Satan?
Satan is Lucifer.
Satan is Lucifer. Who's Lucifer?
The angel that rebelled against God.
The angel that rebelled against. Where is that story?
I'm pretty sure it's apocryphal, isn't it?
It's apocryphal? What does that mean?
It's not actually in the canon.
It's in Paradise Lost. Okay. 17th century poem. Right? So these images, these personages, these stories start to swirl in your mind, and you forget where they all came from. In Genesis, there's just a snake. And for some reason, in Paradise, there's a very mean snake with very bad intentions who convinces the first humans to disobey God. There's a lot of philosophy in this story. God creates the world. The world is good. Humans disobey God because of a snake. They are punished. What happens when they're punished? They're cast from the garden. They're cursed. They're mortal. They labor. They suffer. And they realize they're not wearing any clothes. Every aspect of that echoes down the centuries of theology in Judaism and in Christianity. Paul, in the book of Romans, sees this as part of the story of creation and salvation. In Romans, this central book of Christian theology, the story of Adam is where sin and suffering alike enter the world. And in the book of Romans, it is where God sends Jesus to suffer, to atone for the sins of mankind and to bring them salvation. Now, for now, I just want you to know 3 things about Genesis and Romans. We'll come back later to serpents and Satan and Lucifer and fallen angels. In the Orthodox account, Paul builds on the account of Genesis. In this version, number 1, God creates the earth and it is good. 2, humans sin. 3, there is some creature, a serpent, there in the garden. Genesis doesn't say why he's there, who he is, where he came from, why he's so mean. But around that problem will be built enormous answers, whole mythologies, stories that carry deep philosophy within them. Today we'll talk about Christian theology, and we'll talk about the problem of suffering, the question of God's justice, or if you want a nice, fancy Greek word, Theodicy, the justice of God. Why does a just God let there be suffering?